it was brutal. It's been a brutal 2 weeks. There's no question about it. Been a brutal 2 weeks right there in your home stadium. The Tennessee Titans, without Derrick Henry, come all the way across the country and just pound you. Pound you in a submission. Matthew Stafford looked as bad as he's looked as a Rams quarterback, right under the lights. And that just lends credence, once again, 2 straight losses under the lights where you don't look at all like the team that you should be, or you don't look at all like the team that you have been. With Matthew Stafford at quarterback, and Stafford's going to hear this on his bye week if it pierces his world. What's he done? The Rams went and got a quarterback that fits their system better, that is a better quarterback in this league. I think that most people would agree on that, with all due respect to Jared Goff, and I know I back-ended the all due respect comment. But what's he done? What has he done in the National Football League except come close against the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff game? What's he done? So these 2 losses lend credence to the can he win the big game? Even though he's already beaten the Bucs. But that wasn't on a Sunday night or a Monday night, despite it being a late window marquee game that most of the country did see. So it's an unfair broadside, I think. But you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. And until he does win one of those big-time games that the whole country is going to be sitting there and watch. And the next one on that is the one that's coming up after their bye week at Green Bay. Going back into the NFC North. He's been in Lambeau Field before. He's won in Lambeau Field before. He's going to have to do it again to stop a 2-game losing streak as opposed to being a 3-game losing streak against a team that they're going to have to beat in order to get to the Super Bowl or have in their back pocket to make come to them in Los Angeles should they somehow win this division, which is possible because the Arizona Cardinals are banged up and they just had one of those bury the tape performances as well. I'm not going to buy into well, here's the thing. I will say that Robert Woods' departure is more to say, what was that? If we're talking about what was that performance, Robert Woods' departure, I think, is more jarring than anything to do with Odell's arrival being something that could cause a different approach in the offense. Now, Stafford forcing one all the way down the field on the opening drive of the game into double coverage, assuming that Odell would adjust to the ball. I don't know. Did Odell run towards the sideline and obviously the ball was placed closer to the hash and the numbers? Is that Stafford's fault? Was that Odell's fault? Doesn't matter because Odell just got there. The quarterback shouldn't be heaving it down the field into double coverage. You know? I mean, it wasn't like desperation time. It was the opening drive of the game.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was like a punt. It was like a punt.
But it was second down, right?
It was like a punt. And here's the issue is now you got Vaughn you're throwing out there too. And the defense got put on the field there, and they gave up damn near a quarter-long drive. That thing was straight out of the playbook of the 49ers taking up the time and hitting you in the mouth and stealing your soul type drive. So it's a team effort last night, and that Woods being out, I think, got a lot of people just off kilter. How else is Kupp dropping a ball that, yeah, it's thrown behind him, but normally he would catch, or Higbee having one go off his hands and then a pick six ensues, or another one in the second half that Higbee just let on a third down drop right out of his hand. I mean, they looked off all night, and I will give them the benefit of the fact that Robert Woods, who does so much for them on offense, that we do focus on the connection between Stafford and Kupp so much because it is so prolific, and you see it in the results on the stat sheet, on the fact that Kupp won Offensive Player of the Month in the NFC in September and October, but lost amongst that. I guess you got to see the woods from the trees, you know, and the Woods is so important to this Rams team. He does so much. He does so much running and blocking. He does so much catching and route running. He does so much in terms of personifying what McVay is cooking up and wants done. And Odell just got there. And it's totally unfair to say you now have to be Woods. It's not the game. It's not his style. It's not his game. It's not his role. So, again, in the same way that the Niners stunk on ice for much of the first half of the season, and you were even overreaction Mondaying me with Shanahan on the hot seat.
Yeah.
And now they're in a pretty decent spot, even though I went high register. Chiefs stink on ice. They're in first place. It's a long season. Let's see how it all plays out. They still are hitting their bye week, having won 70% of their games through 10 weeks. I think the bye week is perfectly timed. Stafford said after the game he could use a week of rest. He's banged up or he's got a back problem or what have you. Take a beat. Get Von Miller up to speed. He didn't look Von-like either. Did you see Kittle put him on skates? Did you see him at one point?
Yo, I just saw that clip. Warren Sharp tweeted it out.
Dude, Kittle put him on skates and just pancaked. Again, that was the Niners' night last night. Yeah. That's the good stuff for the Niners. And the Rams stuff is something that, again, let's take a beat, get healthy, get Odell more in the playbook, get Von healthy, get everyone more in the playbook, figure out what needs to be done, what bolts need to be tightened, because their next game is at Green Bay. And the whole country still being thick on tryptophan from Thanksgiving is going to be settling in. Late window on Fox for that Sunday game. And that's going to be, as the kids say, lit. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.